Okay, welcome to this week on data visualization. As you can see, this week is all about visual appeal, so I went out of my way and changed my typical t-shirt into a nicer one, even shaved, the things I do to make a point. I want to start with a quick story, one of my favorite stories about data visualization. So this happened a few years ago. There was this online poker site, I think it was called, actually, Absolute Poker was the name of it, I believe. And every year or so they held this tournament, which was a high dollar tournament. Several $100,000, maybe even $1 million for the payout, but certainly a high dollar tournament. And so the tournament took place, and when it was all said and done, the second place player in the tournament went away embittered, feeling that the top-ranking person, the winner, had cheated. Now, this isn't strange at all, right? This happens in almost every World Cup or big events, World Series. The losers are always a little bit bitter and talk about the calls that could have been made differently. So what the second place player did, they asked if they could see the data from the tournament because they felt that the winner had cheated. And somehow they actually got the data, which I think was by a freak incident. I don't think they actually should have been able to get access to the data, but they did. And it was just these massive piles of numbers. It was a big spreadsheet. I actually looked at it myself. Huge spreadsheet with all this data, and the second place person just said, forget it, it's not worth it. However, there were some other people in that tournament who also felt that the winner had cheated, and somehow they got a hold of this data a little bit later. So they analyzed it, and they were able to put it onto a scatter plot in terms of basically the number of times that each person had stayed in instead of like folding their hand and withdrawing from a hand, and how much percent of the time the person had won. And this is what it looked like. I hope you can see that there. So each dot here is a player in the tournament. And you can see there were hundreds of players, which is why there was so much data. And what do you notice? This guy right out there, little outlier. Turns out that one is 16 standard deviations away from the mean. This was Pot Ripper. This was the winner of the tournament. And as soon as the officials saw this data presented in this way, visualized in this way, they immediately shut down the Absolute Poker, fined them $500,000. So maybe the pot wasn't $1 million. I'm not sure if Pot Ripper got in big trouble. What it turns out, he had been a consultant that had gotten some kind of secret access to the website, so he was able to see everyone's cards all the time. Remember, this was virtual online poker, so it wasn't like actually sitting at a table. And so because all of this, the criminal got caught and justice was served, all because of a good data visualization. So we're going to hear some stories of cool ways that data visualization has been used, also some ways in which data visualization can be misleading